And now, the LSU Football Fix with Preston Guy, presented by TigerBait, starts now.
And welcome in to your LSU Football Fix. I'm Preston Guy, your host as always. Joined with me every Monday night, sometimes not every Monday night, sometimes we do it on a Tuesday night instead, is staff writer at Sports Illustrated's LSU Country, Zack. Nagy. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys, so I want to cut out a few of the normal pleasantry type stuff we got going on, but I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about tonight. Of course, we've got number one running back in the country for the class of 2025 joining us tonight, Harlem Berry. He's backstage. I'm about to pull him front stage and talk with him. We've got a good interview planned tonight for him. After that, we're going to be talking Lance Hurd does indeed enter the transfer portal, as we were all speculating he might. Thoughts and prayers to Zack Nagy. Brian Thomas has entered the transfer portal. I'm sorry, has gone pro. He's going to the NFL draft. He ain't playing for anybody but an NFL team next
That's
year.
my guy, man. I'm happy for him.
I'm
happy for him. But obviously, he's better go make it. He made himself some money this year, so it's time to go cash out while he can. And I'm really happy for him. He had a phenomenal year.
He is your guy. He was your guy before anybody else.
I've been on him. I really like Brian Thomas's game. We're
going to talk about Wingo going pro and the impact that has. That one was slightly more shocking, but not totally shocking. Shaz Preston enters the portal, the former 5-star receiver out of St. James, Alabama wide receiver. And we're going to talk about, we can't go a whole show without talking about the defensive coaching, can we? My goodness. So we're going to be talking about all of that. Well, Harlem, are you good? But I'm going to bring Harlem Berry up on here. Harlem. Harlem went sideways. Harlem, what's going on, man?
What's up?
How we doing?
You're in Orlando right now at a hotel for the Under Armour All-American game, but it's the 2024 game.
Yes,
so
sir.
You're announcing your decision on live television tomorrow. What else is going on? Because you're not playing in the game, right? Or you're not. Are you participating in anything other than your announcement?
No, I'm pretty much just laying back, chilling. Like, I'm just watching. Like, I went to the practice yesterday. I think they were doing the jersey ceremony. I kind of had to leave that to come here. But yeah, they were doing the jersey ceremony. So really and truly, I've just been like observing everything they've been doing. I haven't really participated in nothing.
For you, what's it kind of like? Obviously, you're going to be participating in the game next year and stuff, and it's one of the more coveted games to be in. For you, what's the experience been like just out there? I know it's been a short time period for you, but just being out there, kind of observing from afar what everybody's going through for the process and what you're looking forward to most when it's your time next year.
Obviously, I'm an athlete, so looking at them practice and everything makes me want to get out there and want to do it. But my time isn't until next year. So honestly, it's just amazing that I get this opportunity to go out there tomorrow and make this decision. From what I'm hearing, I'm the first, I guess you say, underclassman to do something like this. So it's pretty exciting for me. And surprisingly, people keep asking me about like nervous or anything. I'm really not. It's probably not gonna hit me till like I get in the moment. But right now, I'm just excited for it. So.
Well, you say you're not nervous. Gotta ask, do you already know where you're going? Have you made that decision already?
Oh yeah, I pretty much have made up my mind where I'm going to be heading at tomorrow. So.
Okay, so I gotta ask you, how confident are you about the school you're picking? Like how rock solid are you on whatever school you have picked that it's gonna work out and it's the good fit for you?
I'm 100% with the school I'm going with. No doubt in my mind. So
I know your top three is kind of it's LSU, Texas, Florida right now, and those are the three schools that you're really going to be picking from because you had a top five. You kind of broke it down to a top three after that. When you're looking at all three of those schools, obviously Texas, Florida, LSU, I guess like what's one thing that kind of sticks out about most, and what's kind of the biggest, I guess, moving factor in your recruitment as a whole?
Honestly, it's really just the LSU is the atmosphere, the coaching, and everything. Texas got a good feel with Coach Choice and Coach Shark, Coach Joseph, and in Florida, I got my uncle up there, Jabbar Jaluk, running back coach. He's a great mentor and everything. But really, just a feel for me, honestly, is like, do I feel comfortable with being up there for the next 3 or 4 years, and am I going to be developed to go to the next level in that time being? So
When you were at
Well,
LSU it was an unofficial visit, but I mean, you were surrounded by a ton of the top guys. Obviously, like it's somebody for you, I guess. More importantly, would be Keelan Moses. I know you guys spent the time to chop it up, talk things through, and he just announced his commitment to LSU and whatnot. And he's a Baton Rouge guy, and he's been around the program for a really long time. So obviously, players are recruiting you somewhere. Players want you here, there. For you specifically with Keelan, what's that relationship kind of like, and what's he kind of whispering in your ear when it comes to the decision as a whole?
Obviously, he's talking to me about obviously committing there and telling me that that's the place to be. But really and truly, we don't really chop it up too much about like where I should go and everything. Played against him in 7-on-7 and stuff. So we just chop it up about anything really, not too much about the recruiting aspect.
I have to ask. Okay, Keelan Moses, after he committed to LSU, turned into like a WWE hype announcer. Is he like that privately when talking with y'all, or is that just publicly when the camera's rolling?
I mean, from when we talk, he's pretty cool, pretty chill. I haven't really seen him like that, but like on the field and stuff, he's loud like that. So, I mean, I guess it kind of translated there.
Well, I have to ask. So you and your father and Frank Wilson played football together in high school, right? What is obviously there's a pretty close relationship between your dad and Frank Wilson. What is your relationship with like Frank Wilson? Was he around at all growing up or anything like that, or do you just kind of you really got to know him when he started recruiting you?
I mainly really got to know him when he started recruiting me. I didn't know him as like a little kid or anything. So,
And what is your relationship like with him now that he has started recruiting you?
it's amazing. He's a great person to talk to about anything, chop it up. Good mentor. So, get a great vibe from Coach Frank.
For you, I mean, obviously the talk of the town right now is the decision and what's coming out tomorrow and everything. But I guess for you as a whole, you just wrapped up a really impressive junior campaign at St. Martin's. So for you, I mean, what did you take away from this year? And now that you're kind of hitting the offseason with force, what are you kind of looking to, bring to the table and add to your game for your final season in high school?
Really and truly, my final year, I'm just mostly trying to get down the fundamentals, like not running wild, waiting for my blocks to set up, trying to get a little receiver in, but yeah, just really trying to get my fundamentals down, carrying the ball real tight, uh, using my speed and my explosion to get out faster than just trying to juke everything, go east and west and just go north. So.
And then obviously the junior season, what was something that kind of stood out to you most this year, aside from learning a little bit more about yourself on the field? What's kind of something that stood out most to you this year as a whole when you were with, your team?
That those are my guys. Honestly, that we even though we're a small school, we were very doubted a lot, but and we worked real hard over the summer, and I saw that it really paid off in the season with those guys. So
I'm gonna ask you about your measurables real quick. I'm showing your best 100-meter time is a 10.57. Your best 40 time is a 4.38. Is that right? And is that your best to date?
I always get my 100 wrong, but I'm pretty sure the 100's exact, and the 40 is definitely exact. I did that.
Okay. 4.38 and a 10.57.
Yes, sir.
Those are pretty good. All right. You're listed at 5'11", 175. Is that your current height and weight? And to follow that up with what is your ideal college playing weight that you want to get to?
Well, I am 5'11", but I got my weight up to 180. Really, my like ideal college weight would be to go into college my freshman year. I think I want to say that good 195, 190. I don't think I'm gonna grow anymore, but that
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about that, man. I mean, I can't sit here and say, man, why don't you put some stilts on? Pull a, what's that guy who's putting the inserts in his shoes on the presidential debates? But but yeah, the weight is always something interesting with a running back. You don't want to lose that speed, but you also want to bulk up. Have you talked to college coaches about that at all? The weight for college, or are they really just trying to get you to come play for them?
I mean, I talked to them more about like how to get my weight up, but really they haven't really pressured me to get my weight up or anything. So really and truly, like, nah, they haven't really told me much about weight.
I guess kind of here going to shift gears for a little bit. Obviously, we've talked about your high school game, talked about the decision as a whole. players are going to be in your ear like crazy. We saw that you were on campus with a bunch of guys, like I mentioned, Keelan, Bryce, Underwood, Decorian Moore, players like that. There's another guy in the state who's really, really shining at the running back position as well, James Simon. Do you two have a relationship? Is it kind of the thing where, look, team up potentially? I guess what's your relationship with him as a whole? And do you think you two are influencing each other's decision when it comes down to it? Just being two guys who are so coveted on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, for sure. Me and James were real cool. Yeah, I tell him where I think he should go and everything, and like see what his mind is, where he's thinking. But like I said, we don't really talk too much recruiting. Usually when we talk, we just chop it up about just stuff. So it's really not much about recruiting that we get into.
Are you wanting to be the only running back in your class, or are you encouraging other talented guys at the same position to come on with you if you talk to them?
As far as like running backs that I know, yes, but no. At the same time, it's really like their decision. I'm not gonna pressure them to come where I
Yeah.
want to go. So, but if it happens, it happens. Definitely, it'd be like a lot of pressure off my back because you got a duo going. But at the same time, it really don't matter to me where you go at.
So it's not a situation where you want to be the sole back in your class or anything like that. You would prefer someone else come sign with you if they're, highly touted.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. I got to ask real quick. So there's been a number of very talented players, including yourself, on LSU's campus for the 2025 class. It has caught the eye of many people around the country. Decorian Moore, the class's number one wide receiver in the country, is already committed. Yourself being a guy from Louisiana on campus a bunch. A lot of people are hoping you could be a part of LSU's class. And of course, Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback in the country out of Michigan, has been at LSU a bunch. And, that's something that would catch a lot of people's eyes, the top three at all three skill positions. Bryce's father said he's talked with your father a good bit. I'm wondering if that has trickled down to y'all. Have y'all talked about just how special a class with y'all together could be, or is that just not something that's really clicked so far?
We definitely have talked. Yeah, his dad has talked to my dad, but he kind of told me where he's going. So, his decision is pretty good. So, honestly, if we were to go together, it'd be definitely a good sight in the offense. So,
and for the record, Bryce Underwood is committing January 6th. For those watching, I'm sure Harlem's got that memorized. So within 3 days, we're going to hear two guys on LSU's board. Let me ask this. Do you want to play with Bryce Underwood in college?
oh, for sure, yeah. It's the number one quarterback, so who wouldn't want to play with the number one quarterback? But yeah.
Looking ahead, obviously, tomorrow's one of the biggest days of your life. It's a big decision to make. It's something you've been looking forward to for a while. And you're the first underclassman to do it at the Under Armour All-American game. So I guess if you could set the scene for us tomorrow. The game's at 4 p.m. Eastern for those who are watching. Do you know when you're going to be, making your decision? It's going to be in between quarters, halftime, before the game, after the game. Do you kind of have a feel for, when that's going to be made?
From what they told me, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the fourth quarter. At 4 o'clock, the game is supposed to be, so it's gonna be the fourth quarter. I thought it was gonna be at like halftime, but they told me it's definitely gonna be the fourth quarter. I want to say like a timeout or a commercial break, something like that. I'm pretty sure it'll be a timeout though, because it's gonna be aired. So,
got any tricks up your sleeve, or is it strictly hats on the table, make the decision, strictly business?
I don't know. I can't really say.
I like it.
I'm gonna predict he's going with business, man. Running just a couple times I've ran into you and your dad, for the record. This seems like a no nonsense kind of guy, but I don't know, man. I gotta say, if I was a recruit, I'd be a ham. I'd be like the guy with the puppy, with the team logo shaved on the side or something stupid like that. Okay, so is the scheme of the team that you're signing with, is that a real important factor to you? Like the offense they're running? And to follow that up, what are your thoughts on LSU's offense that they ran this year?
Honestly, the offense that they're running, I have to like, because that's the offense I'm probably gonna be in whenever I go up there. But as far as LSU's offense, though, I mean, they use their quarterback a lot. They obviously had Heisman winner Jaden Daniels, so the offense was definitely open, like spaced out. I'm pretty sure. Not too much about the backs that they were using, but their offense was. I like the way they played.
So just let me reiterate real quick. Is there certain schemes like that you wouldn't want to be a part of, or are you good to go in any system?
I mean, I'm good to go. Wherever you need me, coaches, I'm a player. So,
Well, something that you were kind of hinting at a minute ago when you were talking about what you want to advance on coming your senior year is kind of, being a little bit more of a receiver, kind of catching the ball a little bit more. What does that look like for you? Like, how do you kind of hit that next gear? Because clearly you're known for being an absolute speedster, and it's a given. That's a casual take. But for you, becoming more of a receiving threat, catch out the backfield, turn it upfield, you're saying more like south, north, south, not east, west. I guess what kind of can help you advance your game besides, just sitting there catching balls from your quarterback on a routine basis? What can allow you to hit that next level as a running back?
um, definitely just being more of like a scat back, because from what I've seen, a lot of backs are just power backs. Um, and like the NFL, they don't really use the running back as like a receiver. And pretty much from what I've seen, I don't think any linebacker could really guard any running back as far as like speed wise and shiftiness. So being able to be a shifty running back that could get out the backfield and do that thing is really what I'm trying to make as a game changer.
And I guess for you, at the same time, you're talking about at the next level, being at the NFL level, not the college level, the next level, being a pro. Do you kind of look at somebody's game and just think like, I want to play like that guy, or I kind of look similar to this guy? Like, what's kind of like your pro comparison for you, or maybe any college coach or somebody that have given it to you?
Well, I could say what people have given me.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot of Reggie Bush, Joe McKnight, a little bit of Barry Sanders. But my game, you could say what you want about it. I just like to play the way I play. I did watch a lot of Barry Sanders clips as a kid. I thought it was real cool. I just made people miss. So I guess you could say, yeah, I kind of based my game off of that. But, Barry's like a Hall of Famer, so I'm not
Harlem,
good. I won't say that.
I can't tell you how good you've made me feel by not making me feel old with those running backs that you named. Like I was like scared, Miss, you were gonna go, man, Christian McCaffrey. So like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you respect and know the Reggie Bushes of the world and Barry Sanders. Even I mean, Barry Sanders probably played before you were born, though. So
Oh, it's definitely.
I mean, probably probably before Zack was born.
Yeah, same.
I would say, I mean, I was very young watching Harlem Berry. I'm sorry, Barry Sanders, wrong Barry. Anyways, so have you determined yet whether you're going to be a January enrollee at the school you play at, or are you going to be, wait until fall camp?
Oh, yeah, we already got it set and everything. Definitely enrolling early to whatever school I will be attending. So I'm taking my classes now for that
Yeah.
to get it over with.
All right. What's wild about that trend is just how many kids are doing it now. I believe LSU's, Zack, correct me if I'm wrong, LSU's got 18 enrolling early this year.
There's either 14 or 18. I think they're pushing to make it 18.
I might have misconstrued. Maybe last year was 18, but it's a lot. We're talking more, half the class or more. My question is I kind of want to get down to the bottom of what is happening. Why are so many more kids doing you? You used to see 5 or 10 out of 25. Now you're seeing more than half. Is it your high school talking to you about it once they realize that you've got, Division I potential? Is it coaches recruiting you, pointing you in the right direction, or your parents? Like what was your process to trying to get that squared away?
Or even the just ability to grow your game and just get better and get on a college campus earlier? Is that something that kind of like plays into it too?
It's more or less what Zach said, more of the fact that you be up there early, so you'll get a feel of the team, how what the plays are.
Right.
So like once fall camp comes, I think at least spring you probably could be able to play in the spring game and show what you have and abilities. Then waiting to like
there's no doubt in my mind it's a benefit. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But my question is, who's pointing you in that direction?
The coaches, kind of my parents,
High school coaches or college coaches?
college coaches, and then Well, it's really more or less like they gave me the idea,
And then
and
you went and talked to
yeah,
who
it's
you
not
needed
like
to.
they really pressured me into doing it. They just kind of told me it'd be a beneficial thing
Yeah.
if you did do it. So
Yeah. I had a sneaky feeling that that's kind of what's been going on with that. All right. Well, bonus question here, man. NCAA 24 comes out this summer. Are you excited about the game? And
of
what do you
course.
think your initial rating will be? Not this game, but next year.
Next year,
Yeah,
I
man.
go
I know it's early, but I'm excited to ask the recruits about the game coming out. If they care. I don't even know if you played the last one that came out, but like,
Nah, that's the crazy part. I don't even think I played NCAA. Well, let me rephrase. I played it, but I was like real little, so I don't really
right.
remember too
That's
much.
what I'm saying. Because let's see, 14 that would have came out 2013. You probably were what 6, 7 years old.
Yeah, something like that. So,
I mean, it's wild to me. But are you excited?
oh yeah, for sure. I'm excited, especially because a lot of guys I know in college could play with them on the game, which
Right.
is crazy. But definitely when I'm be able to play on the game, because I know a lot of my friends who play or like are waiting to play the NCAA game. So to be able to say that they could play with me on the game would be crazy.
I imagine it will. All right. So what's your freshman rating?
Go with a good 85. I feel like my speed will make everything go up. So
I about to say you probably care more about your speed than your overall rating.
yeah,
What's your speed rating then?
I go with a good 95. Good 95.
Zack says,
Nah, you
"Go."
gotta up that,
Yeah,
man. You
4
gotta
3.
up that a little
No,
bit.
I think a 4.3840 is about a 95 speed if I remember right. I'm trying to remember back to the combine speeds. It was like a 4.23 was 99 speed or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're in the right ballpark, I think. Well, Harlem, I appreciate you coming on, man. Zack, did you have anything else for Harlem before we let him get out of here?
No, man, that was kind of everything that we were looking to hit on, man. Really appreciate you for coming on, and obviously, best of luck tomorrow. It's going to be a really, really exciting day for you. So whatever you make, whatever that decision is, man, appreciate you for coming on, and good luck, man.
Yeah, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you for coming on. Definitely, dude. So y'all make sure to go give Harlem Berry a follow. I'm pulling up your Twitter handle right now. It's Harlem Berry 25. Remember, in this age of NIL and branding, you following these athletes helps them, make themselves into a business.
Is it the same
Do
thing
you,
on Instagram? Is your
yeah, is it same
Uh,
handle on Instagram?
Now my Instagram is my initials HB25 and then a K.
HB25K. There you go. 25K. Man, he's predicting a 25,000 yard rushing career. How about that? Oh, you know what I did want to ask you about is speaking of stats, do you have any stats from your junior season available?
Off the top of my head, I know I reached the 2,000 mark again.
In rushing, not all purpose.
Yeah, in rushing for sure this year. Um, I play a little defense. I got a pick. I know that.
Oh, look at you.
Uh,
Maybe you could help LSU's defensive backfield.
all purpose. I think is like what, like
I know. I think
2,000 something something.
you came into the season with like 5,000 all-purpose yards. I just couldn't
Yeah,
find anything. So I'm assuming you got probably another 2,500 all-purpose. So,
yeah. So
but 2,000 rushing yards. That's all 3 seasons now, right? You've had 2,000 rushing.
yeah, and then touchdowns. I'm pretty sure I got 30 plus.
Yeah.
Tackles. I got 32, 30 plus.
Are you going to play the other side of the ball next year too? Or are you just going to solely lock in on running back?
With the way the team's looking, we're real young this year. Know what will be next year, so probably might play some defense. But since I'm going to college right after that,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna play too much because I don't want to obviously get hurt playing defense. Right. But if the team needs me to play, then I'll for sure go out there and step out on defense.
For sure.
Love to hear it. Thanks for everything. You have a great night, Harlem.
Appreciate
You
it,
too.
Harlem.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. Great night, man. And that is LSU target 5-star running back, number 1 running back in the country, Harlem Berry. It was a pretty insightful interview. He gave us some pretty good stuff there.
Yeah, he crushed it. I'm really excited to see what he does tomorrow. Obviously, he's got the connection with Florida, Texas pushing for him, and then obviously Frank Wilson and the rest of the staff with LSU making their push too. So it's going to be super exciting, and having the number 1 running back in America residing in Louisiana is always a really good sign. So it's going to be exciting, and I really wanted to make sure what time he was doing it at so that everybody here tuning in could watch, because fourth quarter of that game will probably kick off around 6 p.m. So hopefully that's when that decision's made.
Here's the secret about recruit announcements I've learned. Whatever time they say, add like 40 minutes.
Exactly.
At minimum, at least he's realistic about it. He's like, man, I don't know, sometime in the fourth quarter. Because the way it works is like during a timeout or whatever, they literally like put a stage midfield and make a production out of it. By the way, I saw an interesting comment while we were H-Town Creole. Preston needs to interview all the top recruits in Louisiana. Preston seems like a top recruiter for the Bayou Bengals. Well, I am not a recruiter, but Zach, do you realize we're about to go 3 for 3 on recruits we've talked to this year?
Yeah.
Dominic McKinley. He committed to Texas A&M first.
We hope that we can go 3
wow,
for 3.
We could go 3 for 3.
We're hoping
we could go 3 for 3.
But
all right, for the record, guys.
That McKinley flip was that was something that we'll get at in a little bit, but so far we're 2 for 2, so let's hope it's 3 for 3 tomorrow.
2 for 2 so far. Let's make it 3 for 3 tomorrow. Maybe I can get Bryce Underwood on the show sometime. I don't know. I doubt before he commits on Saturday, but that'd be big too. But hey, possibly 3 for 3 tomorrow. We'll see, man. For what it's worth, everything I know is that he's going to be a Tiger tomorrow is what I'm hearing. Obviously, I don't want to spoil that in front of his face or anything like that. But all signs point to that kid will be a Tiger. Zach, are you on the same page here?
Yeah, look, I think Frank Wilson and the rest of the staff did a phenomenal job recruiting him. And look, the timelines are starting to add up. He's coming off an unofficial visit with us and made the decision date after that. So yeah, if to answer that question with a couple of words, I would say, yeah, everything's trending in the right direction for Harlem Berry to ultimately be an LSU Tiger. So it would be a monster addition once he makes that official decision. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think all is going to be well for LSU tomorrow.
Cajun 5 wants to know news on House. I promise it's coming. I promise we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Lance Hurd entering the portal. We're going to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. We're going to talk about Mehki Wingo, and we're going to talk about Shaz Preston, the Alabama receiver, has entered the portal. We'll see what is going on there. But first, while we were on air, we got the breaking news that LSU center Charles Turner is declaring for the NFL draft. That's pretty much expected once he accepted the Reese's Bowl invite, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much set in stone. And something that you and I have talked about the last couple of weeks is kind of the rise of DJ Chester. Those within the program are really happy with what DJ Chester brought to the table this season. So yeah, he's progressing super well, and Charles Turner now going to the league really does set the tone for DJ Chester to kind of insert his role as a key piece to this offensive line moving forward. So yeah, this decision was not a surprise at all, and you and I were certainly believing that this would be the case. And now it's
and worth noting, he had a super senior, like a COVID senior year.
Yeah.
He's been on this team since 2019. Like
crazy to me, man.
He's a 5th year player. And I don't really look at it like, you technically could have squeezed one more year out of that guy. So it's a loss not to bring, when guys have played 4 years of college football and they decide it's just time to get to the NFL, that's not really losing a player, in my opinion. I think getting a guy back for a super senior year is just a little lanyap. Last year, you got the ultimate lanyap with Jade Daniels deciding to come back for his 5th season of playing, not just 5th season in college, 5th season of playing, and you got a Heisman Trophy winner out of that. So I'd say that worked out pretty well. All right, before we dive in, we're gonna talk about Matt House and the situation, tell you what I'm hearing there. I do have to get into a couple ads real quick. I'm gonna try to run through the ads a little faster than I usually do tonight, so we can get the show moving a little faster and hopefully cut off a little early, but we shall see. All right, guys, as y'all know, our title sponsor this year is Celebrity Theaters. Guys, Celebrity Theaters is your only locally owned and operated theater in Louisiana with locations in Baton Rouge and Ruston. Guys, because it's locally owned, you're guaranteed to see a clean facility, better pricing, superior customer service, state-of-the-art technology. The Baton Rouge locations have an invigorating arcade with over 50 games. It's the largest in town. They've got a bar featuring beer, wine, and frozen drinks. And of course, their theaters are equipped with oversized leather reclining seats and the Dolby Atmos 3D sound system that has the largest screen in Baton Rouge. Guys, make sure to check out their weekly savings On Monday is Senior Savings Day if you're $5 for patrons over the age of 55 all day long. Tuesday is Bargain Tuesday, where they do discounted movie tickets and concessions for all. Wednesday is College Night, where they do admission for college students after 5 p.m. is $5. The Baton Rouge location have half off arcades all day. Thursday at the Baton Rouge location is Thirsty Thursday. So make sure to go check them out. And guys, we've got to talk about our friends, Alumni Hall. Hey, Tiger fans, when you want to show all your LSU Tiger pride, Alumni is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, hats, Yeti, gifts, accessories, and more. LSU students, faculty, and military all receive 10% off in-store every day. You can earn cash back with their Hall Pass Rewards program. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row, or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where the Tiger fans shop. Let's get to a few comments, shall we? Let's see here. Hey, look, Todd Davis with the best comment of the night. I haven't told anybody to hit the like button yet. What?
I was going to say, no, you haven't.
What shameless plug can I give tonight? Like I remember, like if you're excited, Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. Then I said, like if you want
Harlem Berry to commit to LSU tomorrow.
There you go. Hit the like button if you want Harlem Berry to commit to the LSU Tigers. I'm going to text him a screenshot tomorrow at noon. And I'm going to say, this many people want you to be an LSU Tiger. And I'm dead serious about this, guys. I'm dead serious. And he reads my text messages. So show out, people. Show out. How's that for some shameless self-promotion? Stephen Miller, Jordan Jefferson gone too. Have you seen that too already?
Pretty sure he was out of eligibility. I don't think he had another
year. Okay.
There was a thing saying that he could potentially exercise a year. So
yeah. I think there was some scuttlebutt, but I mean, he's a senior. I mean, he would have had to pull some strings if I'm not mistaken. Again, a guy that I don't really consider it a loss if he's already a senior. He played his senior year, and just because he might be able to pull some strings and come back, I don't really consider that like attrition. You know what I mean? That being said, by the way, shout out Stephen Miller, great supporter of the show, always watching.
Stephen's fantastic. He's an avid LSU fan, and he's always tuning in and always supporting Preston and I. So absolutely.
Very knowledgeable fan as well.
Yeah,
very knowledgeable. So appreciate his support.
But piggybacking off what he said though, just so you and I can like hit on this real quick. Obviously, and hopefully I'm not like cutting off the next subject that we want to get to, but losing Jordan Jefferson and then obviously Mehki Wingo off the NFL too. How just important is it now that you keep Jacoby and Guillory and Mason Smith on this roster? Is the defensive line depth something that kind of concerns you a little bit, or what's something that like you're kind of looking now?
Hell yeah, it concerns me. Are you kidding me? They got bullied around by everybody last year.
Threw you a lob there.
Hell yeah. Well, it's not only is the depth concerned, the quality of play is a concern for me. You need all these dudes back. And quite frankly, Mehki Wingo and Jordan Jefferson were your best defensive tackles this year. So, yeah, I don't really feel good about that. This makes bringing Dominic McKinley in so much bigger. Now, guys, y'all know, if you watch my show, I think I have a pretty strong history of, I'm not going to tell you a guy is garbage just because he didn't go to LSU and, he sucks anyway. I've never done that. And just like that, a guy who I wasn't as high on as others, I'm not going to tell you, well, he's great just because he committed to LSU. I wasn't as high as a lot of people are on Dominic McKinley. I don't know if I would give him a 5th star. I'd definitely give him a 4-star. He's absolutely a take, though. Absolutely a guy you want in your program. And I do think he is, he's definitely among the top 10 players in the state, no matter any way you slice it or dice it. So bringing him in, and by the way, he is having a good showing at the Under Armour game that Harlem will be attending and announcing at, but he won't be playing in. But he's been impressing at practice, showing off some good explosion. So I think bringing him in, real big deal, right?
Yeah, like the defensive line depth, in my opinion, is something that is obviously about to be talked about to a significant degree, just because you're down 2 players now. And I'm not quite sure Dominic McKinley is going to be an immediate impact guy off the bat, but just to have somebody in practice and giving significant reps and, having the intangibles to take snaps if need be is super important. But look, I think eventually the Tigers are going to need to go out in the transfer portal and go add a seasoned veteran, whether it's in the first window or the second window in the spring. So that's going to be super important. But kind of hitting back on what you said, yeah, McKinley's a top 10 player in the state, top 5 player in the state. No matter how you cut, how you slice it,
you want him. You want him. And by the way, I said the same thing about Ishmael Sopsher, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Remember him, 2018? He was a 5-star defensive tackle, and I wasn't nuts over it. Defensive tackle, by the way, is a very tough position to scout.
I feel the same way about offensive tackles. I feel like it's hard to, grade these interior offensive linemen and interior defensive linemen. So, I'm sorry, guards, offensive guards. So
right, yeah, I was going to say guards are probably tougher to grade because my thing is with those positions, those interior lineman positions, is so many of these kids are just bigger and stronger than everybody they've played against, and they don't know how to play with leverage, especially don't know how to play with leverage when it's up against a dude who's really strong, and your natural instincts are going to be to get up high on him or whatever, just based on what
they rely on their physical attributes. I completely agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, it's a tough position to scout for sure. But at the same time, I told you one of my first videos with TigerBait, I remember telling people, like, of course you want Ishmael Shropshire in this class. Just because he's overrated doesn't mean he's not good. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I'll tell people about Arch Manning last year. Do I think he was the number 1 recruit in the country? No. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Absolutely. He's a good player, but just the ratings put him on. And by the way, none of these players asked the services to call them, number 1 or whatever. Dane Bergeron or the COVID extensions for players.
One more year, man. I'm pretty sure there's just one more year.
One more year. I haven't done the math on that. So 2019 or 2020, if you were a true freshman. So, I mean, basically you got to wait 4 more years after that, or is it 5? I don't know. Anyways, hopefully 2025 will be done, but Jesus, man. I cannot wait to see a player's eligibility and age and not have to factor in if they've had a COVID year or not.
Me too. It's been so ridiculous, but yeah, I completely agree.
Like, if you're a senior, you're a freaking senior, and that's it. Okay, God, you're done next year. Just back to normalcy. All right, Cajun 5 brought up an interesting point I have to talk about here. Did I see the video of House talking to Wingo and Wingo brushing House off? That was, of course, posted by Jacques Doucet, Jacques got some really cool post-game film interaction. I guess they were more open and laissez-faire than they usually are.
Best in the business, man. Jacques fantastic.
Yeah, Jacques, and by the way, Jacques just got a promotion, and he's 100% deserving. I love Jacques, good guy. His Star Wars taste could be improved, but that's a conversation for another day. But you got the video of them, and yeah, I saw it, and the body language there isn't great. I'm gonna go ahead and I might actually read his tweet. Hold up. Mehki Wingo responded to the claim.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he replied to it, which Mehki Wingo's, first off, standout guy. I have absolutely loved interviewing Mehki Wingo. I might invite Mehki Wingo to come on the show in the next couple weeks, just because he's a great guy to talk to. I'm gonna read his tweet word for word. He basically shrugged it off. He goes, "I was emotional after the game, which is why I was looking around, LOL. I was letting him know that I was indeed done with school." So that's Mehki. But what stands out to me is not only did he kind of show some body language and nonverbal stuff in his NFL declaration, he thanked Coach Drinkwitz at Missouri, who originally recruited him, Brian Kelly, Jamar Kane, Pat Hill, who were his original defensive line coaches at Missouri and LSU, right? He thanks Coach Steeples, but he did not thank Matt House. He didn't thank Jimmy Lindsay. He didn't thank John Janek. And the fact that Matt House, that many coaches were included, but not Matt House. Look, man, I think Mehki is a quality young man. And I think Mehki is an intelligent guy who saw people claiming that body language and put something out there to, make LSU not look bad. I don't know. I think there might be something there. I think there might be. What do you think, Zach? I presented both sides. That's just my opinion.
Look, I mean, obviously, I think you could hear him in the video say, like, next level. Like, you could hear him say those 2 words. And the body
You say
language.
that I listened a million times. I guess I'm deaf. I couldn't hear anything.
I'm pretty sure. Obviously, that might have been just my brain telling me that because
You're
somebody
not
else
the
had
only
said it.
one. Tons of other people said that, but I'm like, dude, I
Yeah.
can't hear a gosh darn thing.
Yeah, no. The body language definitely spoke volumes. But look, whatever it was, emotions, it doesn't matter. It was a horrible year defensively. Mehki unfortunately got hurt, and he ended his season with a bang against Wisconsin. He played fantastic with those 2 sacks. So look, if there's any ill will between the two, it is what it is, and now Mekhi's taken it to the next level. But yeah, certainly a unique video to see with his body language. You know, like I said again, speaking volumes. That was a lot.
Crying Belly wants to know. Wonder what number Harlem wears when he gets to LSU. He wears number 25 currently, so I would say that or 5. The Reggie Bush. I figured he would say Reggie Bush because he wore 25. But anyways, I figure one of those numbers seems relatively likely. Let's see here. All right, Kent Jones wants to know what defensive line coach you want to talk about defensive coaches? Let's dive in.
If we want to go down that path, sure. Obviously, the season's over now. Brian Kelly.
Wait, real question though. Do we want to go down that path? Are we sure we want to?
We said we would.
Yeah, we signed up for the job. We got to do it.
Men of our word, so we said we talk about it. So let's do it. Look, season's over. Brian Kelly's going strict. Coaching staff evaluations right now, season evaluations, and whether it's your defensive line, defensive coordinator, any position group you want to look at, every single one of them are going to be under a microscope for the foreseeable future until Brian Kelly makes up that decision. So, look, I don't know. I don't think anybody quite knows what the defensive line coaching search looks like right now, or what happens with Jimmy Lindsey if he goes to an analyst role. What happens there? But look, defensive staff changes are going to happen, and it's going to be sooner rather than later.
I do think you're going to get a new defensive line coach. Mm-hmm. I do. I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like Jimmy Lindsey gets an off the field position or something like that, an analyst type role. Right. I wonder if there's like some health issues there that prevent him from doing his job, to his full ability. Guys, I don't know. I'm honestly hearing that Matt House very well could keep his job. Now, Brian Kelly is currently right now doing evaluations. I'm also hearing that he has a $4 million buyout, and just the way LSU is going right now, they've been shuffling a lot of money out. Certainly a lot of money coming in, but a lot of money coming in and out. I do wonder if they make the bold choice. Matt House, you had one season where he did very well and exceeded expectations, and one season where he absolutely was dreadful. And the defense cost you a national championship. Straight up, LSU would be hanging a banner winning a national championship if this defense was the same defense it was in 2022. Period. And that's the tough pill to swallow. And that's why I almost wonder, even if Matt House hypothetically was doing a good job, and we just all don't know football as well as he does, the perception will kill you in football and coaching, with recruiting, with coaches negatively recruiting you, with your fan support. Perception will kill you. So I just wonder, even if that for alone, can LSU really afford to keep him on board? But most of what I'm hearing, the whispers I've heard, is that it's likely he does stay, and they try to bring in some splashy hires, like a Corey Raymond, like a Bo Davis, and that they try to say, well, we got 2 flashy position coach hires and 9 out of 11 starters are back on defense. Here's some makeup on that pig. And
I don't disagree with that. Like, I think that's a good take for sure. My only thing would be is if you retain somebody like Matt House, what's the fan base going to say? What's the state of Louisiana?
The fan base ain't going to like it. I already know what the fan base. It's going to be a meltdown.
Yeah, meltdown precisely. But now you're going to be entering a do or die year, and it could all reflect on this defense. So sure, the personnel might not have been fantastic this season, and we can all go down that path and say, well, the players weren't of the caliber of SEC caliber. You were playing a lot of youngsters. Your cornerbacks were depleted. There's a lot of, I guess, quote unquote, excuses that you could make. I wouldn't necessarily call them excuses. I would just say
Right.
it is what it is, and it's what happened. But look, you're going to be entering a do or die season if you bring back Matt House. And you and I have talked, and people have talked and said Brian Kelly knows more than us. I mean, he's been in the business for a long time, and if he firmly believes that if he keeps Matt House, that he can, propel this defense to new heights, then that's what it is. But you're going to be entering a season where you're in do or die mode, and you have the offense this season, and you have a ton of returning talent on both sides of the ball. But now you're entering a crucial stretch if you bring back somebody like Matt House. And sure, there's been no firings, there's been no decisions made yet, but things will be happening sooner rather than later. And if he decides to retain House, then he has a plan that none of us are fully aware of.
That's right. It's 100% right that none of us are fully aware of what is actually going in Brian Kelly's noggin right now. But I'll tell you what's going on in my noggin is the offense. It would be a phenomena if the offense could repeat its production this year.
Oh yeah.
It would be extraordinary if they had 90% the production they had this year. And I'm talking like really incredible. I'm not concerned about losing Denbrock, not bashing Denbrock.
That was actually my next question for you, so I'm glad you said that.
But did you notice a real substantial difference in the game that Joe Sloan called versus the game that Denbrock has called?
Not really. I mean, obviously, there were some personnel changes and stuff, so he kind of tweaked a couple of things. But to answer that in one word, no.
And, we all know that it is Brian Kelly's offense ultimately, because LSU did hire a coach who has a system and knows what he wants to do with play calling. And I think if Joe Sloan gets the job, which I expect him to, or at least co-OC, maybe Cortez Hankton also gets to be co-OC. But I believe the way it worked is they game planned together, but then Joe Sloan was in the box calling the plays. I expect that will hold up. And I think the offense is going to be fine. I mean, Nussmeier hung 400 on Wisconsin, who had I think the 32nd ranked defense in the country. Offense, I think they're going to be fine. They bring out 4 out of 5 offensive linemen starters. That offensive line is going to be stacked. I mean, really stacked next year. I'm concerned about receiving. I mean, yes, you lose Brian Thomas Jr., thoughts and prayers. And you lose Malik Neighbors, but you're bringing back Kyron Lacey, Chris Hilton. The connection with Nussmeier is very evident there. Yeah. And by the way, Shaz Preston just hit the portal as well. First off, excellent name. Second off, LSU was high on his board out of St. James coming out of high school. He was a 5-star receiver, but he really hadn't done much for Bama, has he?
No. And like you said, it's another Louisiana native in the portal. It's what Kelly's looking to attack. So you'll certainly see LSU, reach out to his camp and see what they can do there. And I would assume there's going to be mutual interest between, both parties. But yeah, you carry on with what you're saying because it was all spot on.
What my concern is for the team next year is that this offense should be fine. But if this defense doesn't show tremendous improvement, I'm talking tremendous. You can't just get a little bit better, like the kind of better you expect a player to get with 1 year of experience type better. And roll that defense out there and not look like fools next year. With this schedule, y'all, LSU plays Oklahoma. They play Ole Miss. They play Alabama. They play USC. They play UCLA. They only have 2 gimme games next year on the schedule. This could be rough. I'm not saying it will be because, I mean, I'm not saying a win-loss prediction right now. Are you kidding me? This team could look drastically different. Today is the last day of the transfer portal being open, though, right? To enter the transfer portal, right?
Correct.
Not the last day to exit, the last day to enter. Yes. I think Brian Kelly's got his work cut out for him, is what I'm telling you, especially if you don't make major changes on defense where you can expect things to look drastically different. And I'm going to just tell you right off the bat, the way the defensive linemen were lined up, the poor tackling, the inability to bat a freaking ball. Dude, I watched the Washington DB
Did you see that comment? There was a comment that said LSU DBs would have been like 10 yards off the ball or something like that. I thought that you were going to say, but no, sorry.
What? So the DBs would be chilling in the end zone with the band
literally.
No, but did you see the final bat down from the DB?
Hell yeah, that was fantastic.
Beautiful. We didn't see that one time all year at LSU. Not once. Well, did a DB find the ball and slap it? Not once.
I did see Ashton Stamps make a really good play during bowl prep 2 weeks ago. That's the only thing I'll say. I'm trying to give them their flowers.
Look, and Ashton Stamps had a rough season.
He made a play similar to that during bowl practice when it didn't matter at all. But, he made a good play. So maybe it's foreshadowing or whatever. Maybe something good will happen next year. But, yeah, man, we didn't see any of that.
You didn't make one play on the ball this year, just about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible how many times you would be on coverage on the guy, able to make a play, and you just missed the ball and the receiver caught it. We didn't see that at all last year. These are coaching issues. Now, they're not scheme, they're technique. But I'm telling you, from the missed tackles, from the players lining up wonky, from the lack of outside contain from your defensive ends to the inability to find the ball in the air, those are coaching. That is poor technique coaching. And if you're looking at it and you think you just need to hire new position coaches to fix the technique, okay, great. Maybe the scheme is fine, but I still think there's definitely some scheme question marks that you have. Did you really need to run that much soft zone coverage? Maybe so. Maybe so. I think you need wholesale changes to have a chance to compete next year in a big kind of way. I really do. I full-heartedly believe that. Mm-hmm. Guys, we're going to get to a few more comments here. I'm going to see, did I miss any talking points that we have to get to tonight? Mehki, Wingo, Brian Thomas, Charles Turner, Matt House. Talk about that. We even talked about we got to talk a little bit about Lance Hurd. We touched on him last week, but we'll touch a little bit on him and get to your comments when we come back. I got a couple more ads. Remember, I'm trying to run through my ads fast tonight so we can get a higher pace show. So before I do this, if you want Harlem Berry to commit to LSU, smash the frickin' like button. You know what you should smash the like button on is Celebrity Theaters, because they're our title sponsor who makes our show possible, what we do every year, and they can host all of your private events, whether you're looking for a birthday party or looking for a corporate event. They've got you covered, guys. 8 to 10 auditoriums, whether private movie screening, arcade party, they got the perfect facility to fit your needs. Celebrity Theaters is proud to offer birthday packages for children of all ages. Let them handle everything from clean up to set up to movie and entertainment. To book your party online, visit celebritytheaters.com/events or send them an email at events@celebritytheaters.com. And of course, we got to talk about Koala Insulation, who has a script with the most big words of any script I have read for any client to date. Let's see if I can get this one without stumbling. The team at Koala Insulation of Baton Rouge are your residential and commercial energy experts. The approaches Koala provides not only help you reduce energy bills and maintain a more comfortable living environment, but can also reduce airborne allergens. They can reduce water condensation issues, wear and tear on your HVAC system, and even lengthen the life of your roof shingles. The Koala team provides existing homeowners with a doctor's diagnosis of your home's energy efficiency situation. They can offer several strategies to help you stay more comfortable and save money on energy bills all year long. Koala has the capacity to tackle large spray foam projects and new home construction while being available every day to help homeowners get some relief from South Louisiana's extreme weather. As an added bonus, most of Koala's projects qualify for federal income tax credits. Give Koala a call today at 225-457-1001 to schedule your free energy efficiency assessment and tell them you heard it on TigerBait.com to get 7% off your order. And of course, guys, our last spot of the night, we got to talk about Jordan Spectre at Spectre Art. Guys, y'all see the Joe Burrow piece above me. We all know it. We all love it. Y'all go check out the entire Bayou collection at spectresportsart.com/the Bayou. Guys, the art that Spectre creates, it's guaranteed to catch the eye of any Tiger fan. And the details are really what's going to hold your attention. You might recall the Smokin' Joe Burrow piece in 2020 that's right behind me. He's followed this up with 5 more incredible pieces hopefully a 6 on the way very soon, including Coach Bo and Joe Burrow at the championship, the Tiger Stadium piece that hangs above my head, Drew Brees, Dylan Cruz, and Tommy Tanks. Guys, the best part about this artwork, the athletes themselves love these pieces so much, they're buying them and hanging them in their room. They're not buying whatever Chat GPT art you're seeing out there. They're buying Spectre Art. You can see Dylan Cruz there on the right-hand corner with his piece. Joe Burrow's parents have the Smokin' Joe in their living room. That's the coolest part about this, guys. Guys, artwork is available in quality print or canvases of any size to fit any room or any budget. The art is straight from the wall, straight from the box, to your wall with all the supplies you need to get that taken care of. Visit the link in the description of this video to check out the entire Bayou collection. Make sure to use our exclusive code TigerBait10 for 10% at checkout on your first set purchase. Guys, you're not going to be disappointed with this artwork. All righty. God, while I was reading that, 28 comments. Let's see if I can get to some of these. Shaz Preston. Well, again, we just talked about him. I think that LSU will probably look to, they have tons of receiver depth, but at the same time, if there's a quality player with high potential, big rangy receiver, by the way, I could see them going out and going for him. Now, whether Shaz Preston wants to come home or not, we'll see. It seems like when LSU gets 2 at-bats at these guys, they bat at a pretty high rate, don't you think?
I think it's a really fair assessment.
Let's see here. Real Ed O says they need to fire all of the defense. Let's see. Don't like the live if you think Matt House should stay. I wonder what would get us more likes. That or the Harlem Berry coming to LSU. Would you rather Harlem Berry come or Matt House stay? That's a tough pick, huh?
Tough decision to make.
He also said smash the effing like button, peasants. I'm not going to put it up there because he didn't actually say effing. He didn't say the naysayer version of that.
That's so funny. I'm not going to comment on that, but that is hilarious. I'm just going to say that's hilarious.
It was a pretty Pat McAfee is solid awesome. Gold, man. Lance Hurd entered the portal. And while that's very sad, there's a couple factors to keep in mind here. It's not guaranteed he was going to be a starter next year. It's not. And I think to keep him in place, you were going to have to invest some resources, some NIL resources to keep him here, because in the portal, he's going to get some. People are going to, give him a good look. So in the portal, you've got playing time and NIL. At LSU, you've got tough playing time. I mean, a spotty chance at a starting position. Let's put it like that. And apparently the NIL money is at least not the same level that it would be elsewhere. So like Mark Cumby says here, where does Hurd end up? Probably Ole Miss. I agree. I think Ole Miss would be my front runner. I said that a couple weeks ago. I could see a team like an Ole Miss making a run at him, but we'll see. Here's the thing about Lance Hurd, though. He is a want, not a need. And what I mean by that is he's a luxury piece to have. He's a team. If you have a salary cap as an NFL team, he's a guy who you're going to franchise tag because you have players to fill the role. Brad Davis has done an outstanding job stocking talent onto this team. He's got the 2 best tackles I think LSU's ever had at the same time. And he's got 2 good guards probably coming back. They're going to have to find a center. He just brought in 6 offensive linemen, including 5-star Weston Davis. Now, do I think any of the 6 are as good as Lance Hurd? No, I don't. But that being said, do you think if Lance Hurd isn't on the roster next year, is there any discernible difference in how good the offensive line is next year?
I wouldn't say so. My thing with the whole Lance Hurd situation, first and foremost, would be I understand the whole the NIL thing that everybody wants to talk about. It's obviously the new age of college sports, but before he put pen to paper and signed with LSU back in, I guess, December of 2022, he was a 2023 recruit, or actually, regardless. Look, he wanted to play the left tackle position, and that's where Will Campbell was at.
Right.
And Brian Kelly and Lance Hurd sat down and had a conversation. And at the end of the day, Lance Hurd was up for the competition. He had swagger, he had poise, he was composed, and he felt that he could come out and take over that left tackle position over, somebody like Will Campbell, who, was a freshman phenom and carried his success into his sophomore season. So, look, I understand how everybody wants to talk about NIL, and certainly it is a factor. But at the end of the day, it's playing time and playing the position that he wants. So he feels that he can go elsewhere and earn that left tackle position. It is what it is. Now, I think that's going to be the true factor of what led him to depart Baton Rouge. But you continue to keep somebody like Will Campbell. You have Emory Jones opposite of him. The tackle position is stacked next season. And like you said, Brad Davis is doing a fantastic job of reeling in recruits on the trail. So you signed 6 players. You got a ton of talent coming in. So look, like you said, he's a want, not a need. I think long term, it would have been a key piece, a cornerstone piece to what you're doing. But at the end of the day, this upcoming season, it's a 1 year at a time approach right now. When you're looking at the offensive line, obviously you're going to have sustained greatness. But if you're looking to next year as a whole, you don't technically need Lance Hurd right now. You have the tackle position locked and loaded. So look, he's making the best decision for him. And there's clearly some opinions of other people, and everybody's, can have their own opinion on it. But at the end of the day, I think it was just, a playing time situation. We'll see where he goes. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if Ole Miss is that front runner. But at the end of the day, we'll see. He's definitely an SEC caliber guy.
Where it really stinks is looking at that 2025 season when Emory Jones and Will Campbell will sail off into the sunset as first-round offensive tackles. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be just amazing to just have a third-year Lance Hurd just plug that in?
That is exactly why I understand what people are saying right now as him being a want, not a need. But at the end of the day, I mean, how fantastic would it be to have him in 2025? Because he's just so talented, and he's only going to get better under Brad Davis. So it is what it is. He made his decision, but it's a unique situation for sure.
It is for sure. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all watching the show tonight. Remember, hit like on the show if you want Harlem Berry to be a Tiger. And if y'all came in at the end of the show and missed it, make sure to go rewatch our interview with Harlem Berry. He makes his decision tomorrow at sometime after 4 p.m. during the Under Armour All-American game. He broadcasts his decision where he's going to college. All signs point to he will be a Tiger. I'm sure all of y'all are hoping for that. So hit that like button if you want to see that. We'll be back next week. I haven't figured out exactly when we're going to be live next week. Of course, the national championship will be on during our show. So I'm sure y'all don't want to be hearing, us two bozos talking while we get the first non-Ohio State / Southeastern team championship in 20 some odd years with Michigan and Washington squaring off for the national championship. So might just push back to either Tuesday or Thursday. We'll figure it out. Anyways, appreciate all y'all watching. Happy New Year. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure to give Zack a follow on Twitter at Znači20. Of course, my handle is at PGuy77, no underscore anymore. I am free. After 12 years on Twitter, I am free. So anyways, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. We will definitely see y'all next week.